Hey everyone, it's Justin here from Animal Crossing World, and today we have a set of brand new screenshots for Animal Crossing New Horizons that have been released today from an in-store Walmart display. So let's jump right into taking a look at these exciting new screenshots alongside a brief analysis. So the very first screenshot that we're going to take a look at actually happens to be my personal favorite in the entire set, and that's because of what you can see right there in the top left corner. That's right, that is an absolutely amazing wooden log bridge. I don't know, it might just be me, but this is, I don't know how to put it into words. I really love this log bridge. It might seem a little silly. I mean, it is just a bridge and it's not like a super fancy one, but I think what I like about it is that most of the bridges in Animal Crossing have some form of arch to them, or they have like some walls or some fencing or some kind of barrier on the edges. But what's interesting about this log bridge is that instead of having one of those barriers, one of those fences, or one of those walls, or some sort of post that, or even an arch in the case of a stone bridge, it's literally just a set of flat logs go right across from one end of land to the other end over the water. I really like the look of this, and it is very unique compared to other bridges in the game. And so because it's one of my favorites, I was thinking as soon as I saw this that, okay, this is going to be one of the first things we're going to have to unlock and go out and find as soon as I get the game. But of course, you know, that might take a while, or at least you would think so based on New Leaf. But I've actually got some good news, because if you go back and look at the Animal Crossing Direct that we got last week, you can actually see that this log bridge was shown in a menu in the game from the Direct. And you can see that it only cost 98,000 bells, which actually makes it the cheapest price bridge in the entire list that was shown in the Direct. So I think this is actually going to be one of the very first bridges that you unlock in the game, which is great news for me, because I want that bridge. So aside from the log bridge, which again is absolutely amazing, the other most notable thing to find in this screenshot is probably the fact that everyone in this screenshot happens to be holding a fishing rod. This includes both the player in the top left, and it also includes Buzz in the bottom left, Poppy sort of in the middle, and Antonio off to the right. Not only are they all holding a fishing pole, they also seem to all be wearing some form of a fishing tracksuit. I'm not really sure what the right word for that is, but I think if you look closely at all their clothes, you'll understand what I'm referring to. So due to all these things, I think it's fairly safe to say that the screenshot is taking place during the fishing tournament of some kind. So that's a pretty neat detail. And lastly, it's not really a feature or anything, but I just want to say that like the back part of this screenshot, like the back row towards the right, that little forest there of cedar trees, it looks really nice from this angle. I love it. And one extra little thing I want to point out, and I did already briefly touch on this, I just want to say that the villager in the bottom left is in fact Buzz, an existing villager who is from the classic Animal Crossing games, and then was also reintroduced in Welcome Amiibo update for New Leaf. Not that this is some amazing piece of new information, but I just wanted to point it out because I've seen a few folks online look at this screenshot and say, oh, is that a new villager? Do they look unfamiliar? And I think that's understandable since they were only added in a later update to New Leaf. So if you're someone who only played Wild World or City Folk or New Leaf, you didn't get into Welcome Amiibo, or you didn't have a lot of Amiibo cards, then you probably haven't seen it before, so that's totally understandable. So the next screenshot here, and I think probably the second most interesting in the set, is this scene here, which appears to be some form of a birthday party over at a house. I'll be honest with you, I'm not really sure whether this is a villager birthday party that you were attending or a birthday party for the player that the villagers are attending. It's probably obvious to other people who are more familiar with birthday parties in Animal Crossing. I have to be honest, I really never bothered much with attending the birthday parties in Animal Crossing. I'm sorry, my poor villagers. But anyway, that aside, the most important thing here, and I'm sure you saw it right away, and that is the giant pinata that's right in the center. And notably, it appears to potentially be hanging from the ceiling, as you would expect from a pinata, which means it could be a ceiling item, which is interesting because I don't think we've actually seen any ceiling items yet in Animal Crossing New Horizons, so that's quite interesting. But regardless of that detail, it's pretty cool seeing this pinata. Now, one other small detail here is that both the villagers, where we can actually see their faces, they both are actually wearing some kind of like special little party glasses. I don't know if that's the right word for it. So it looks like maybe all the villagers will be wearing these sorts of glasses to celebrate birthday parties. And then one more thing, if you look really closely at the window in the back there towards the right, it's almost like you can sort of see snow in the windowsill. I'm not 100% certain on this, but it's interesting nonetheless, and it's quite possible that could be snow. That would be a really cool detail if it actually showed snow for the window if it's winter outside, but I'm not 100% certain. Now, the third set in this screenshot from Walmart obviously is taking place during the winter, and not only the winter, it appears to be taken during the holiday season based on the giant Christmas tree in the back, and of course the wreath on the player's house door. Now, going back to the giant Christmas tree that we can see, it does bring to mind an interesting little tidbit that we could be seeing during the Animal Crossing Direct last week. In particular, at a certain point on the Animal Crossing Direct when they were showing off the winter season, there's a really neat scene where the player actually walks straight up to a Christmas lights decorated cedar tree, shakes the tree, and then an ornament actually drops drops from the tree and then the player picks it up like an item. It's quite an interesting little addition, and my first thought is that the ornament items could probably be used as crafting materials in order to craft various Christmas related items. So seeing this giant Christmas tree at the back, I would say there's a fairly safe bet to say that perhaps these ornament crafting materials that come from cedar trees that have Christmas lights on them might be used to craft that item. It's also possible that these could be used to craft the holiday wreath on the door in the background as well. I would say the Christmas tree is almost a lock-in that it uses these ornaments. Other than that, there's not much else to see here, of course, other than Roald looking cute over there as always. The other little detail that I don't think this is actually entirely new, I think this was shown during the direct. Since you're looking at this still screenshot for so long and it makes it way more noticeable, it's a really cool detail that the tops of the fences at the front and then also the stone wall at the back have snow layered on top during the winter. That's really cute. This next screenshot here is probably not a particularly interesting one. It's basically a player in what looks to be a makeshift crafting workshop room in someone's house. We do recognize that the shelving unit at the back there was shown in the Animal Crossing Direct, and that the two items on the top right, it looks like I think that's an energy booster drink powder thingy of some kind. I believe that's an item that has been stacked on top of the shelving unit. So even though this item is quite high, you can stack items on top of it, which I think is interesting because usually in Animal Crossing series, it's only the lower tables that allow you to stack items on them, not the high shelving units. I don't really have anything else to say about the screenshot other than that though. So just, look at it, enjoy it, and we'll move on. So this next screenshot here gives us an absolutely fantastic look at the museum in Animal Crossing New Horizons, and particularly the fish aquarium section. Now again, there's really not anything particularly notable here in terms of features other than the fact that you can see a bunch of giant fish creatures, some of which we probably haven't seen in Animal Crossing New Horizons yet. But other than that, it's really just nice to get another look at the gorgeous museum, as I think this was definitely one of the highlights for the Animal Crossing Direct, or at least it was for me. I mean, I saw so many posts on Twitter just freaking out of the museum in every way, so it certainly doesn't hurt to get more screenshots of it, right? I'd say the more museum that we can see, the better. Finally, we have one last screenshot to finish us off here from the Walmart set, and this offers us a little close-up view of a bug on a summer tree. But other than that, there's really not much here. We can of course see the player in the background, picking up some sticks, there's some rocks, but I mean, everything in here is really stuff we've seen a million times before, other than I guess getting the really nice bug close-up. So yeah, to be honest, this last screenshot, it's a little bit of a dud. There's really not that much going on here, but I thought it was worth taking a look at all these screenshots as a set, because in particular, the first screenshot and the second screenshot showing off the wooden log bridge and of course the pinata on the ceiling, those were both really cool, show a lot of interesting new information. Even if the second half of these screenshots weren't great, at least those were good. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little look at these screenshots. I hope you thought they were at least somewhat insightful. And if you notice anything else notable in any of these screenshots, please feel free to leave me a comment below telling me what I missed and how much of a dummy I am for not seeing this amazing little thing that you saw, because I'm sure there's something that I missed. Finally, I just want to give a huge shout out to Renee from Facebook, who was the person who originally found these screenshots at her Walmart and took some photos of them and posted them on a Facebook group known as Animal Crossing Addicts. So thank you so much, Renee. We are in debt to you forever for offering these to us. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to give it a like, and if you'd like to see more Animal Crossing content, feel free to subscribe. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.